Okay, it's 2 o'clock and we are live here on the Clinton County Government Facebook page. Thank you for joining us for our continued virtual mental health speaker series. I'm Clinton County Commissioner Angela Harding, and this series was made possible through the Health Initiative for Rural Pennsylvania grant from the PA Office of Rural Health. This whole series was the work of collaboration from our advisory group, which includes the commissioners, Commonwealth University Lock Haven, Clinton County Emergency Services, Clinton County Housing Coalition, Keystone Central School District, UPMC, Bucktail Medical Center, Keystone Counseling, and the Clinton County United Way. And so we have a really wonderful guest speaker with us today. His name is Frank Warren. Before we give Frank's introduction, we're going to go ahead and share a video with you about Active Minds and the group that has brought this series to us here in Clinton County and beyond. Hopefully we have a lot of people watching from all different places. And so just give me 1 second here to pull up the video that we want to share with you today. And it's just going to take me a moment, folks, because I'm working on a different computer than I'm used to. So here is the Active Minds video.
Getting on a college campus for the first time can be so overwhelming because you're kind of facing the world by yourself for the first time.
Growing up, I did have a lot of family members who suffered from mental health challenges. It wasn't something that was always talked about. It's been very difficult to talk about what does it mean to be sad versus to be depressed? What does it mean to be stressed versus to be anxious?
After losing my friend, I needed something. I was struggling a lot myself.
I started Active Minds when I was a freshman in college after losing my brother, Brian, my only sibling, to suicide. Active Minds is a national nonprofit organization focused on changing the conversation about mental health. We're most well known for mobilizing young adults to get involved in and change culture around mental health.
We know that life is tough for young adults. And we also know that it's not just the students who have mental illness that have issues, it's all students. We have enough research to know that all students are dealing with things like depression, anxiety, and the epidemic of loneliness.
Active Minds is serving as this institution on a campus that is getting students talking, having programming during Suicide Prevention Month, having stress relief activities during exams, screening movies, having panel discussions and keynote speakers, all with a mental health theme, so that it's not just that we're talking about mental health when there's a crisis, but we're talking about mental health every day.
One of the things I love about our partnership with Active Minds is that they are creative and engaging and relatable. It's just in this easy language, vernacular that you use on a normal. And I think that helps to decrease the stigma. It helps to start the conversation.
I love that Active Minds is able to make the topic of mental health very broad, so that way all people feel included in it.
We were thrilled to start working with the RAND Corporation to understand if Active Minds was really making a difference. It was a longitudinal study.
It has shown that the presence of an Active Minds chapter on a campus, just that alone makes people access counseling more, feel more comfortable.
Those students had lower stigma and improved attitudes around mental health simply because they felt like their campus cared. That's unparalleled in the mental health field.
It's amazing the progress that this movement is making. I feel that through your work and in the generations to come, you're at a tipping point.
We really see ourselves as the organization that is going to propel change in America around mental health.
They're the leading organization on college campuses. All of our players come from college campuses. So now when you come into the National Football League, guess what? We're going to continue the conversation. We're going to help you to continue the conversation. So no better way to do that than with our partnership with Active Minds.
When Color Street chose to partner with Active Minds, we knew that they had an amazing story to tell. Having a national reach through our network of independent sales associates and customers, Active Minds has given us the language we need to help them get the conversation going in the communities where they are.
I think what Active Minds has done has been an extraordinary contribution to not only college campuses, but as a model for what we can do in civil society to make sure that we look out for each other in the same way that we hope people will look out for ourselves.
The empathy, the knowledge I gained from Active Minds is something that I will carry with me long after graduating from college.
Active Minds has just changed my life. It's something that I'm not sure I would be here without. It was my savior. It was my passion. And it's something that I will never forget.
Active Minds is saving lives. Active Minds is a change maker. Help us as we continue to change the conversation about mental health.
Okay, and we are back. And so without further ado, it is a very honorable pleasure for me to introduce Frank Warren. Frank has been called the most trusted stranger in America. He is the sole founder of the Post Secret Project, a growing collection of over 1 million artful secrets mailed to him anonymously on postcards. The award-winning Post Secret website has received more than 840 million views and has helped raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-SUICIDE. Frank's popular TED Talk was called the #1 TED Talk that holds the key to public speaking genius by Inc. magazine, and all 6 Post Secret books have gone on to become New York Times bestsellers. Frank has shared his stories and postcards at the White House, the Museum of Modern Art, CNN, the Today Show, and CBS Sunday Morning. Recognized by Forbes as one of the most influential people on the internet, Frank is here today to share some of his extraordinary stories and secrets. Before we begin, I just want to take a moment to thank Frank for being a part of this series, and it is a real honor for Clinton County to have someone of your caliber coming into our community and sharing your knowledge and the work that you've done behind mental health and especially suicide prevention. So thank you for being with us, and we really look forward to what you have to share with us.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you, Angela, for making space for this important conversation. And it's wonderful to be coming to you from California. This is going to be fun. My name is Frank, and I collect secrets. About 20 years ago, I started inviting strangers to write down their deepest confessions on a postcard, decorate the postcard, and mail it to me anonymously. And I have a handful of extraordinary secrets to share with you today that have come from this collection. I think we all have secrets, and I like to imagine each one of us keeping our secrets metaphorically in a box just like this. And every day, I think each one of us makes a decision about what to do with our box, whether to bury it down deep inside us and forget about it, or to bring our box out into the light, open it, and share our secrets like gifts. I hope you can see this okay. So much of the beauty of the postcards is the effort that people put into writing them and designing them. This one has a stamp. I think it came from Canada, home address, cancellation mark. Like almost every secret I get, this one has a drawing, a collage, a picture, something that visually conveys the emotion behind the secret. Looks like an elevator, and the secret says, I feel guilty when I take elevators for 1 floor, so I limp when I get out. This one has a Dr. Seuss stamp on the back. A couple under a tree with a heart over their heads. This one reads, I didn't enlist to escape you. I enlisted to pay for our wedding. Will you marry me? This one has a picture of cat and some cat food. The secret says, At work, someone kept stealing my lunch from the fridge. So I made a nice sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and cat food. And this one's on the other side of the emotional spectrum for sure. This one says, I work at a vet clinic. When euthanizing a pet, we give you the option of staying in the room with them or leaving. Always stay. They look for you once you're gone. This one on the green card simply says, I faked appendicitis to get out of school. I had to get surgery. That's not the first time I've seen that secret. I've seen so many secrets that these patterns form, and I've actually heard that secret from patients, from kids, and also from doctors. So it's a cool insight you get when you get this like X-ray vision into our secret stories. This is the last one from my box. It says BFF with some flowers. The secret says, when my husband cheated on me, my best friend told me if I was meeting all his needs, he wouldn't be cheating on me. After my divorce, I had sex with her husband. I can't hear you laughing, but I'm sure some of you are. I laugh every time I read that. Oh, it's been written that no other person has seen more secrets than me. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know one thing. I don't get to see all the secrets. One secret I never saw, but I'll never forget, came in the form of an email from a woman who lives in Texas. She sent me this message. She wrote, Dear Frank, I visited the Post Secret website and was really moved by what I saw there. So I went out and I purchased a postcard. I chose my words carefully to express this secret I'd never told to anyone else before. And when I finished, I looked at my postcard. I thought I was going to feel better about myself. But instead, when I saw my secret staring back at me for the first time, I felt horrible. And I took my postcard and tore it in half. And in that moment, I decided I would no longer be the person who carries that secret in my life. I love that story. I like imagining what the details of that secret might have been. But more than that, I think it reveals this truth about the nature of so many of our secrets. How sometimes when we think we're keeping a secret, that secret's actually keeping us. And it could be robbing us of the one opportunity we have in our lifetime to live a true and full and authentic life. And there are no stakes higher than that. In November of 2004, I had a crazy idea. I printed up 3,000 postcards, just like this. They were blank on one side. On the other side, I had some simple instructions. I wrote, you're invited to anonymously contribute a secret to a group art project. Your secret can be a regret, fear, betrayal, desire, confession, or childhood humiliation. Reveal anything as long as it's true and you've never told it to anyone before. And I used to live in Germantown, Maryland. And after work, I would take these postcards to Washington, D.C., which was about a half-hour drive. And I would approach people getting off the metro in Washington, D.C., strangers. I walk up, I'd say, hi, my name's Frank, and I collect secrets. I'd try and hand them a postcard. Some people ignored me. Some people took a handful. Some people said, I don't have any secrets. But I always made sure those people took a postcard because I believe they have the best ones. After a bit, my crazy idea stopped feeling crazy because people actually started mailing their secrets to my home, to my mailbox. They started coming in just a trickle, just a few at a time. But my mail carrier, Kathy, would put it in the mailbox. I want to make sure Kathy's getting props. Beth, can you see Kathy there on the screen? Frank to Beth, can you hear me? So I think Beth is our moderator. She looks like she's muted right now. But
Yes, sir, I'm here.
perfect.
I can see her.
You can see Kathy. Wonderful.
Oh,
Well,
yes.
Kathy is like the MVP of Post Secret. She's been delivering probably hundreds of thousands of postcards to that mailbox. She's written a chapter in the latest Post Secret book. Early on in the project, she was delivering the mail in the neighborhood. And somebody came running out of her house saying, Kathy, are you the Post Secret mail carrier? Do you deliver all the secrets and postcards to Frank's house every day? And she said, yes, I am. And she noticed that the woman had a book in her hand. And so Kathy said, can I, I'm friends with Frank. Can I take your book and have him sign it for me? And she said, no, Kathy, I want you to sign my book. So Kathy is like the heart and soul of the project. She delivered the secrets into the mailbox. It was just a slow trickle of postcards at first. I was getting like 5 or 6 every week. But as they came, I would scan them and I would post them on the web. I called it the Sunday Secrets. And that first Sunday, I had maybe 100 visitors to the website. The next Sunday, I had 1,000 visitors. The Sunday after that, I had 100,000 visitors. Soon the idea of Post Secret began to spread across the country, around the world. And people began to buy their own postcards and make their own postcards. And they started arriving with postmarks, not from Washington, D.C. or Germantown, Maryland, but from California, Texas, Pennsylvania, Alaska, Hawaii, Iran, New Zealand, China, Canada, Peru. It was then I realized I had accidentally tapped into something that had been there the whole time, something full of mystery and wonder that I still don't fully understand to this day. This is a secret that I think is written in Russian, from Russia with love. This one from Singapore says, I'll let you into my forbidden city. One of the surprises early on in the project is secrets in different languages from different continents. People would ask me, what are they like? How are they different? And the surprise was not the differences between these secrets written in different languages coming from different parts of the globe, but the similarities, how they reflected the same fears and hopes and struggles with life and successes. That's one of the beauties of the project, is how Post Secret reminds us of how similar we are to other people and how loneliness is really just an illusion. It was around this time that my wife started freaking out, because secrets are coming from all over the world to our home address. I had put our home address out on the web. It was on the cover of a best-selling book. My wife said, couldn't you have just used the P.O. box instead of our home address? I said, Jan, don't worry. I don't think this is going to last very long. My original goal was to receive 365 postcards, but this is my secret collection today. Yeah, a ton of secrets, one postcard at a time. You can see my wife struggling to stack a brick of secrets on top of the full archive. One of the first questions I was asked was, why did you do this in the first place? Like, why are you doing this? What got you started? And I think if I had to answer that question early on, honestly and directly, I wouldn't have had a good response. I probably would have said, Post Secret was something fun. It was like a prank. But about 3 months in, I got a postcard that changed everything. It's on this stack. You can see it in the lower right-hand corner. It's got like a door on it. It says, the holes are from when my mom tried knocking down my door so she could continue beating me. This was a postcard made out of a photograph of a broken bedroom door. And when I received it, I scanned it, I posted it on the web, and I wasn't ready for what happened next. That day, 1 million people visited the website. And people started sending me emails, telling me their stories, sending me pictures of their broken bedroom doors, one after another. As I got them, I would scan them, I'd put them on the web. Soon I had this long column of over a dozen pictures of broken bedroom doors. And the messages that came with these pictures would break your heart even more. I remember one, it came from a girl. She wrote, "Dear Frank, seeing all pictures of broken bedroom doors, it doesn't depress me, because all this time I thought I was the only one. And just knowing there are other people out there like me who share my secret, it doesn't make my secret go away, but it lets my burden feel just a little bit lighter. Shame is a liar. Shame will tell you that you're alone, but that's just an illusion. Eventually, I got a picture emailed to me of a broken bedroom door that reminded me that when I was young, I had one of these doors too. And for the first time, I really felt it. There are two kinds of secrets. There are the secrets that we keep from others and the secrets that we hide from ourselves. Recent studies have revealed that the burden we feel, the lifelong burden that stays with us from childhood trauma, is not as much about the trauma and pain itself. It's more about the shame and stigma we feel as adults, hiding it, hiding our true selves. So when I saw that door that reminded me of my story, I created a postcard. I wrote my secret on it. I mailed it to myself. I talked to my wife about it. And I try and share it at every event, live or virtual, just like this. And every time I do, I feel a bit more whole, a bit more reconciled with my past. Thanks for listening to my secret. What you're seeing now is an exhibit that was at the Smithsonian a while back. And what I want to do is share with you not just the postcards I've received, but not everybody follows directions very well. So as you can see, a lot of people mailed me actual objects and items with their secrets written on them. So you can see there's a plate there that says, "Mom, I hate your boyfriend and refuse to eat off his plates." The coconut reads, "I feel closest to God when wading the waters of the ocean." There's a green roller skate in the middle that says, "Roller derby saved my soul." The balloon above the roller skate says, "When we decided to keep you, your life wasn't the only one saved." And then there's that oil painting in the upper right-hand corner. I received it as a rolled up canvas, and there's no secret on it. There's no text anywhere. So for a while, I didn't really understand it, but I feel like what that person was trying to share as their confession was that they had found someone special who they were sharing all their secrets with. And so there wasn't a need to write it on a postcard and mail anything to me or post secret. I think that's a beautiful secret. All right, let's take a timeout, a break here. I want to have a pop quiz, and I'm hoping Beth can help me. So maybe she can unmute her mic, and here are my questions. I have 3 questions. Now, if you have an answer to any of these, just type it in the chat, type it in the comments. You can use Facebook. And I can't see them, but Beth is going to help me by reading some out loud to see if anybody knows these answers. Here's your first question. What do you think is the secret that has emailed me the most? What secret do I get the most on postcards? If you have a guess, type it there in the comment. Beth's going to share it with me. Number 2, what was it legal to mail in this country before 1915? I'm a big fan of the US Postal Service, so I have all this postal trivia, and this one will blow your mind. You'll think I'm lying, but Google it, it's true. Before 1915, what could you mail from New York to Pennsylvania? And the third question, I'm creating this online exhibit of postcards that are cryptic or enigmatic. I can't figure them out. Here's an example. This is the whole secret. So can somebody write in the comments what you think this is? What is this person's secret? You can see there's nothing on the back. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to ask Beth to start helping me with these. So Beth, what are some of these comments? What do people think the most common secret I receive is?
I am waiting for something to come in.
Nothing's being posted?
Not yet.
How many people do we have with us today?
That's a good question. I don't see it on here.
All right.
have my
Well,
comments open.
okay, maybe we're not looking in the right place, but I feel bad if I don't get to hear people's guesses and I just give the answers. But I guess I will do that.
I have guesses, Frank, if you want to hear mine.
Let me hear.
I think that probably one of the postcards that you receive is maybe that people want to end their own lives. My guess on the postage, what you could mail that people would never believe would be children. And my third guess on the postcard is that that person has an addiction of shoes.
Well, I can tell from those guesses, you're very creative. Beth, do you have a guess or two you want to venture?
I was thinking the first most often secret was I'm in love with my best friend.
That's a
my-
very popular secret.
My guess was also for mailing children. Now that mine are grown, I wish they'd mail themselves home a little more often. And I have no idea on that last postcard.
You guys are surprisingly on the nose. Like before 1915, it was legal to mail babies. You could mail a baby from New York to Boston. Sounds crazy, but it's true. And the most frequent secret I get, this is before the pandemic, like when the pandemic happened, I got a lot of pandemic secrets, but I pee in the shower. I pee in the shower is number one. All right, moving along. Here's that image. Who used to be able to send children in the mail, I told you. And now pandemic secrets. During the pandemic, I got a lot of pandemic related secrets, as you can imagine. Secrets about our struggles, our successes, our strategies that we use to get through it. And I just want to share a few of them with you now. I'll run through them real quick. It's a worldwide pandemic and I'm starting an affair, no regrets. I don't know if that's a pandemic win or not, but I'll let you decide. I constantly reach out to check everyone's okay, not just because I care, but because I am afraid no one will think to check on me. The ones you think are strong are struggling too. I miss touch more than I miss sex. During COVID-19, I tip outrageously. It makes me feel lucky. I've been searching Amazon baby registries and sending gifts to strangers since they didn't get to have baby showers. You know, studies have shown that not only acts of kindness make the generous person feel happier, but just relaying that story can make people feel happier who hear it. So it's almost like 3 people get happy through one act of kindness to a stranger. A secret about baby registries led to anonymous people purchasing items on my registry. The happy tears flowed as I regained some faith in humanity. My husband was floored by the random acts of kindness. My daughter, 5, was excited for baby brother's birthday presents. I will pay it forward one day. So just that comment on the Post Secret Facebook page inspired other people to take that action. And here she sent in a picture, and here's their family. The power of kindness. I've learned that grief and joy can overlap. Thank goodness. I have 11 secrets that I've never told to anyone. It's both my biggest fear and my greatest desire to find someone I trust enough to share all of them with. This isn't a pandemic secret, but this is the second most popular secret I get after I pee in the shower. And I don't mean this exact secret, but the idea behind it. The idea that so many of us are someplace on that journey, trying to find that one person who we can be our full and true and whole selves with. That's a secret I see expressed dozens of different ways every month on postcards. One of these men is the father of my son. He pays me a lot to keep it a secret. This should be like another pop quiz, right? Like, what face do you think? I don't know. I'll just let you read this one for yourself. If you take nothing else away from this conversation today, always treat your servers with the respect and kindness they deserve. I get a lot of secrets from servers. You want to be kind to your server for sure. They deserve it. This next one, I have to tell you a bit about it before I show you the picture. I speak a lot live on college campuses. And afterwards, I sign books and meet with students. I take pictures. And this next postcard was made out of a picture I took with students on a college campus after a live event. And at this event, I was using a live wireless microphone. Here's the secret. Your mic wasn't off during sound check. We all heard you pee. So this secret, when I got it, was humiliating on multiple levels because my wife was with me in the house at the table going through the postcard. She actually saw it first and got a good chuckle out of it. And as she was showing it to me and laughing at me, I was frantically trying to relive the moments of that night in my mind, trying to remember what happened. And then it hit me. You know, that one thing we can almost always say, no matter how bad a situation is. In this case, it's definitely true. It could have been worse. That's all I'm going to say about that. Moving right along. 15 years ago, I gave up a baby boy for adoption. 1 year ago, I found his address in the next town. 4 months ago, I drove past his house. Last night, I took my 2 young children trick-or-treating to his house, and he opened the door, but I walked away instead. I almost cried. Years ago, I was reading the book at book signings at Barnes and Nobles. And in Portland, Oregon, I read this secret. And about a week later, I got an email from the person who sent me the secret. I want to read it to you. Here it is. Dear Frank, last week you were speaking in Portland, Oregon. I walked in a little late to a very crowded room. You said a few words, a few more, and then suddenly I recognized my words. 15 years ago, adoption. 1 year ago, trick-or-treating. Tears sprang to my eyes. You were reading my secret, and I heard it. Everyone heard it. My heart was thumping so hard in my chest, I was certain everyone could hear it too. I wanted to yell out, "That's my secret." I went home later after buying a few books and told my husband that you read my secret to hundreds of people. He smiled and hugged me. I asked him if he wanted to know what it was. He said, no, a whole room full of strangers knows, and that's enough. Let's take another break for a second, shall we? If you would, take out your cell phone. Take out your cell phone, open up a Google search box or whatever browser you want to use, and just type this in and see how Google auto completes it. So do a Google search, take out your phone, type in "college makes me feel." Now, what you're going to find is Google is going to auto complete that sentence based upon what other people have searched for. And you might be surprised to see what the most popular searches are. College makes me feel dumb. College makes me feel depressed. College makes me feel alone. You can see just by these searches that college is not only the best years of our lives sometimes, but can sometimes be a real challenge as well. I know when I was a student, I struggled with loneliness. I struggled with anxiety. I had to ask for help, or I did ask for help. I had the opportunity to look for resources on campus. There weren't that many, and they're not as rich and resourceful as what you have available today, but it was something that helped me. So yeah, I mean, studies have shown that 60% of students today meet the criteria for serious depression, anxiety disorder, or suicidal ideation. It can be a challenging time in school for ourselves and for others. In America today, more American soldiers are killed by their own hands than by any enemy. The second leading cause of death for new mothers is suicide. On college campuses, the statistics are even more staggering. This year, over 1,000 students will take their own lives. Somebody watching this presentation right now might be thinking about it. Suicide is America's secret. It's a secret that we hide from ourselves, and keeping that secret just makes it worse. The Surgeon General has said that suicide is the most preventable form of death in this country. We know what we can do about it. We know it works. We know that by attacking the stigma and shame that can prevent young people from asking for the help they need, we know that can save lives. We know that by talking about our feelings of isolation or depression before they can wall us up, by sharing our secrets, that can save lives. We know that by being aware of and keeping track of mental wellness resources that can help us or help our friends or classmates, that can save lives. By putting the crisis hotline number on the back of student IDs, that can save lives. You doing okay? Sure. Really, what can I do for you? I don't know. Please let me know, okay? I seriously am worried about you. Don't be. I can be if I want to. You can't see it on the back, but I've got this postcard right here. And on the back of the secret, the person wrote, "This conversation saved my life. Thank you for caring and for everything else you've done for me. You're my hero." More than once, I've received emails from students who say the only reason I'm alive today is because my RA, my classmate, asked me how I was doing at just the right time. 67% of students will tell a friend they're hurting, they're thinking about hurting themselves before they'll tell a parent or a teacher or a counselor. That might sound like a lot of pressure being a friend, but you don't have to be a professional. You just have to be a friend. You just have to care, ask questions, and listen. Let me share a quick video with you about that.
Hey, has this ever happened to you? Maybe a friend, teammate, coworker, loved one says something like, "I've been having a hard time lately. I've been feeling really anxious. I'm overwhelmed." If it sounds like more than a bad day, it probably is. So, what could you do? Consider this an opening to start a conversation with your friend. Talk and listen using VAR. Validate, appreciate, refer. VAR. An easy way to let someone know it's okay to not be okay, and you are not alone.
One of the myths about suicide is that somebody who's hurting doesn't want to talk about it. They do. They want to share. They want the pain to stop. They want to express those feelings. They just might not feel like it's a safe place to do it, or they found the right person. So it's okay to ask if you have a concern. Hey, are you thinking about hurting yourself? Hey, are you struggling right now? You know, it's okay not to be okay. I've been there too. You know, you've got my text number. Text me 24/7 before you do anything. I'm always there for you. Let's get help together. Being aware of your friends, asking questions, listening with compassion, all those things can save a life. Here are some resources in your area that you have access to. Project Wake Up you have access to, I think, for 6 months. Go ahead and take a picture or a screenshot of this so you can use it with a friend in the future, a family member, maybe yourself if you need it. I'm going to show you another list of resources too, but I'll give you a couple more seconds to screen grab this one. Perfect. Here's the other one, some phone numbers. So many resources out there. There is always hope and there is always help. the last thing I want to share with you about suicide is something that makes me really proud, and that is the post-secret community as a whole has contributed more than $1 million for suicide prevention. And that makes me feel very gratified. I think some of you have perhaps said the right thing at the right time, and you've saved somebody's life, and you don't even realize it. There's a lot of good stories out there too. I found your camera at Lollapalooza this summer. I finally got the pictures developed, and I'd love to share them with you. So this was a postcard made out of a photograph that I received, I think in 2005. 2 years ago, we were actually able to identify the person who lost their camera and get all the pictures back to her. But that's not the story I want to tell you. The story I want to tell you has to do with a student named Maddie. Here's Maddie. In 2005, when Maddie saw that I had posted that postcard on the website, he was inspired. He started his own website that he called I Found Your Camera. And Maddie invited strangers from all over the world to mail him cameras that had been found by a stranger, an orphan memory stick. And he would take the pictures and post them. And people would come from all over the world to see if they could find photos that their friends or family might have lost and get them all returned. Here are a few. There were hundreds, there were thousands, and so many of them did get returned. Hundreds and thousands did get returned, including this one. When she got her camera back that she had lost, she wrote Maddie an email, and she wrote, "Dear Maddie, thank you, thank you, thank you. My son's birth was on that camera. He turned 4 last year." This is another secret I posted. My dad told me that this sign meant that there were no, I can't read it because it's blocked, but you can probably read it. And I remember what it was. So this creates a whole new genre of secrets that I didn't even know existed. In fact, just last month on the Post Secret Digital Museum that you can visit, I have dozens of these white lies, these stories, these fabrications that a parent, usually a father, will tell their son or daughter. And if you don't have this from your family, I'll share a few more with you that I've heard over the years. My dad used to tell me that if I pulled up enough weeds out of the front yard, eventually a toy would pop out of the roots. My dad told me that the same way that Santa Claus comes down the chimney for Christmas, the Easter Bunny comes up out of the toilet for Easter. My sister told me that avocados were alligator eggs. My mom told me that chocolate milk only came from brown cows. Maybe one of you heard that one from a family member. I hope none of you heard this one, which I've received multiple times. My dad used to tell me that when the ice cream truck played music, it meant they'd run out of ice cream. Maybe we should call Child Protective Services for that one. All right, next secret. Dear birth mother, I have great parents. I found love. I'm happy. This is another one I got early in the project. I think I got it, 2005, because it's in the first Post Secret book. And then a few years ago, again, like 15 years later, I got an email from the woman who sent me this postcard. And she wrote me saying she had done 23andMe. Her birth mother had been inadvertently identified. And she contacted her, reached out saying, hey, if you'd like to meet, no pressure, but can we get together for a cup of coffee or something? And she said that her birth mother agreed. They got together. She sent me this message. I'm not going to be able to read all of it because it's blocked, but okay, here we go. Yeah, I can. So excited to be able to send you this picture. From left to right, my mom, myself, and my birth mother. It was an incredible day, and I will never forget seeing my mom and my birth mother hug as they met for the first time. I could feel parts inside my heart come together, and it was so special. I want to show you their picture here. Let me see if I can do it. There it is. There she is holding up the first Post Secret book where her secret was printed. How extraordinary to like let that secret go. And then over a decade later, there's this answer that comes back. The power of secrets. His temper is so scary that I've lost all of my opinions. When I received this postcard, I put it on the web and I got a bunch of emails. I got one, I've got it here. Yes, yes. So this is an email I received in response to this secret. Do you know that I left my boyfriend of 1.5 years because of the postcard that read, his temper is so scary, I've lost all of my opinions? It hadn't even occurred to me what was happening, and it took a total stranger writing it down to make me realize what the hell was going on in my life. I cannot thank you enough for making things so much clearer. It was the smartest thing I've done in a long time. So I posted her message underneath the secret, and then the person who mailed me this secret responded back saying that she had seen her secret come up on the web, and when she did, her boyfriend was right there with her, looking over her shoulder. And he asked her, is that your secret? As she was looking at it on the Post Secret site. And she said, I didn't even think to lie. I said, yeah, it is. And she said, we went on to have a long, uncomfortable conversation, but I really got to say some things I needed to say. And I felt like he was listening to me and said some things that really progressed us. So now I think we're going to make it work. So what a wild turn of events, how this stranger left her boyfriend over this secret, and this person, by sharing it, took a step in mending or healing, perhaps, their relationship. Again, the transformative power of secrets. The courage to share can change our lives and others. That Saturday when you wondered where I was, well, I was getting your ring. It's in my pocket right now. I posted this secret on Valentine's Day, and it was the very bottom secret on the website underneath this long column of like romantic confessions. And the site hadn't been live for more than maybe a half hour before I got an email from the guy who sent me this postcard. And his email said, Dear Frank, I've got to tell you this story that just played out in my life. He said, my knees are still shaking. For months, my girlfriend and I have made it a Sunday morning ritual to get up and bring up the Post Secret site together. I read out some of the secrets to her. She reads out some postcards to me. It's really brought us closer together through the years. So when I saw that you had posted my surprise proposal to her at the bottom of the website, he said, I was beside myself. It was everything I could do not to give it away. We started scrolling down, reading the secrets. He said, but this time it was taking her forever to read each one before we could get to mine. But he said she finally got to his proposal. And he said she read it out loud once. And then she read it out loud again. And then she turned to him. And the first thing she said was, is that our cat? And when she turned, he was down on one knee. He had the ring out. He popped the question. She said, yes, it was a fairy tale story. So I asked him in the email, I said, hey, you've got to share something back with me so I can share your happy ending with everybody. And he sent me this. Yeah, the cat does not look too pleased, even though she's got her ring on. Maybe this is a picture the cat took here. There they are. All right, I've got a few more secrets to share with you here. When people I love leave voicemails on my phone, I always save them in case they die tomorrow, and I have no other way of hearing their voice ever again. When I put this postcard on the web, dozens of people emailed me, telling me stories, sending me video and sound files of their final calls with loved ones, friends and family members who had died. They said by saving, preserving, and sharing those final voicemail messages that allowed them to keep the spirit of their loved ones alive. One young woman shared with me the last song she ever heard her grandmother sing to her, along with, I think I've got it. Yeah, this was the message that came along with her voicemail. It said, after my grandmother passed away, I saved a voicemail of her singing, "It's Somebody's Birthday Today." It means a lot to me that you always called on my birthday to sing me this song. This particular recording is still sent out to every member of my family on their birthday.
Birthday voice message. It's somebody's birthday today. Somebody's birthday today. My candles I lighted on somebody's cake. And we're all invited for somebody's sake. Happy birthday, my Patty. You're 21 years old today. Have a real happy birthday. This is Grandma Hartman, and I love you. I'll say bye for now.
I always feel a lot of emotion when I share that particular secret, that voicemail. I think it reminds us that someday we'll leave a final voicemail on somebody's phone, and maybe it reminds us not to take those special people for granted who we still have in our life. I've received a lot of phone-related secrets. One guy shared with me, he said, if my wife knew all the secrets I kept on my phone, 2 marriages would be destroyed. Another woman said, I secretly keep the phone number to the suicide prevention hotline under speed dial names like Art and Dennis and Dave. One woman said, I still have the password to my ex-boyfriend's email account, and sometimes I go online and read his emails and they really piss me off. And then I got another secret from a guy who said, I know my ex-girlfriend still has my password. Sometimes I write emails just to piss her off. Those two might be related. So let me finish by talking about secrets shared on the Post Secret app. I have a few of these I want to go through. These are secrets that people use. They took their phone using the Post Secret app, snapped a picture, shared it out with the world anonymously, and then people could respond to their secrets anonymously. So there was some really fascinating connections between strangers and just cool secrets as well. I think you'll see what I mean as I read a few of these to you. I recently got a job as a full-time babysitter. The parents don't know that I am their adopted daughter's birth mother. I didn't know either until I saw her baby picture was the one I sent them before they adopted her. What a reminder of the extraordinary stories of heroism and frailty playing out in the lives of our friends, of strangers all around us every moment of the day. Today, I found out my family secret. My grandfather was gay, and the only person who knew was my amazing grandma. They raised a family together. They were best friends. I was raped, and you know what? I'm going to be all right. I'm in the waiting room about to start treatment for depression and anxiety. I'm finally getting the help I need. I used to be a little bit racist until my grandson taught me how to love. When I say, be careful, this plate's hot, what I mean is move your shit so I can put this plate down because it's fucking hot. Every time I drive past a strip club, I scream, Dad, hoping that the guy walking in will feel horrible and run away. I stand in the middle of this road at 2 a.m. and will cars to hit me. I know where that road is. It's in Brighton in the UK. And I know that because before I went there to speak, I searched the Post Secret app for secrets that had been created nearby that location. I included them in the presentation. I included this one and then 2 follow-up secrets responding to this anonymously. This one said, we care. This one said, I live near you. If you need to talk, let me know. Another street in Brighton. And then the original secret sharer came back and said, I posted a secret here 2 weeks ago and got 2 replies from people nearby. All I can say is thank you. You made a difference. I hope you see this. After that live event in Brighton, I was signing books and there was a line of people and two girls came up arm in arm. And the first girl said to me, Frank, I was the person who shared that secret on the app, the secret about willing cars to hit me. And she said, when I saw it up on the screen, I freaked out. I'd never told anyone before. I didn't know what people would think. But I grabbed the arm of my best friend sitting next to me and I said, that's my secret. And then she said she was terrified because she didn't know how her friend was going to react to that. But at the end of my talk, she told me that her friend leaned back over and said to her, I was one of the people who responded anonymously. We just didn't know. The power of kindness, how it can change lives in surprising and inspiring ways. I want to end my talk where I began, with Kathy, the MVP of Post Secret. I asked Kathy once if she had a favorite secret she'd ever delivered to my mailbox, and she said she did. She said it was a secret that said, I used to work at the post office, and we used to read everybody's postcards. Are you guys doing that? Yeah, now we know she was. I have a favorite secret too. It wasn't sent on a postcard, it was sent on a dollar bill mailed to me, but the secret's written right on the back. I think we all have secrets. And every day we make a choice about what to do with them. Whether to keep them inside of us, boxed up and buried, or to bring them out and share them with the people we trust, like gifts. Out of all the secrets I've received, maybe this one is the most profound. It's not that long. It just says, we're all part of something bigger, and we're all part of it together. Free your secrets and become who you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. I'm going to, if you could end your share screen.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and end it. Bye, everybody. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for being with us, and that was really impactful. I have a few favorites for sure.
Yeah, you gotta mail me a postcard now.
I might, but I'll never tell you.
That's
Well,
fair
we really
game.
appreciate you and everything you've done, and would just encourage anyone watching today to visit Post Secret. You have a Facebook page, you also have the website, and apparently you also have an app. So we would just encourage all of our viewers to check those out, and thank you again. Before we end the call today, I did want to do a quick share screen. Our community is going to be having a speaker, and that speaker's name is Kevin Hines. And this is going to be brought to Clinton County and Lycoming County from the Joinder. And the Joinder is something that Clinton and Lycoming County collaborate on. And Kevin Hines, as you can see there on the screen, he's a survivor, a storyteller, and a filmmaker. And he travels the world sharing his story of hope, healing, and recovery while teaching people of all ages the art of wellness and the ability to survive pain with true resilience. And so this is open to everybody. It's a first come, first served basis. So when the theater is full, no one else will be allowed in, but it's September 13th, 2023, and it starts at 6:30 p.m. Again, there are no tickets. Just please come and be willing to open your mind and hear more about how we can all help each other through this thing called life. And there will be concession open for drinks and snacks if you're so inclined. So again, Kevin Hines, September 13th, and Clinton County government will also share this on our social media in the coming weeks, just to help get the word out. But that's all we have for today. Frank, it was a pleasure to meet you, hear your story. We wish you all the best, and just very honored that you were able to come and share this kindness journey with Clinton County and the folks who we all know are struggling around us, as we each do at different periods throughout time. So thanks again, and we wish you all the best.
Well, thanks. It's wonderful to be a part of this and to speak with people who I feel connected to, because I've certainly struggled in my life as well. I feel like the children almost broken by the world become the adults most likely to change it. So take control of your story, and things can change and things get better. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And thank you to everybody for tuning in. We hope to see you at our September speaker. And until then, have a great rest of the month. Thank you, Beth, for all your work and help in bringing this to the community.